Match like this takes a lot out of you mentally and physically. So what are you going to focus on when it comes to recovery for the next match?
Sleep. I think it's everyone's bedtime. People probably have...
As we are MTV, who are you listening to right now? Who's on the playlist?
Justin Bieber's album just dropped. I actually like that.
How good is Daisies? That's my favorite.
It's cool, yeah. I've been on
I think that I make a difference. You know, that's what the only thing I can do to give back to my country is to help inspire, change.
Breaking, Eala quits tennis for Hollywood. Chris Hemsworth spills everything. What is going on, Court Visionaries? Welcome back to Court Vision Plus, the only place on the entire internet where the baseline meets the red carpet, where we serve up the hottest tennis drama faster than an Aryna Sabalenka forehand, and where no story is too wild, too glamorous, or too earth-shattering for us to break down, frame by frame, for you. And trust me when I tell you this, friends, what we have for you today makes every other story we have ever covered look like a quiet Tuesday afternoon at a qualifying round in Bogota. If you thought the Australian Open was chaotic, if you thought the drama on the WTA Tour this season has been something to write home about, you have not seen anything yet. Not even close. Because today, we are not just talking about tennis. We are talking about a collision of two worlds that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. We are talking about a story that has sent Hollywood agents scrambling for their phones, left the WTA Tour in stunned, jaw-dropped silence, and caused a full-scale meltdown on tennis Twitter that we have not witnessed since the Williams sisters era. Grab your popcorn. Grab a snack. Maybe pour yourself something cold, because we are about to dive headfirst into the most unexpected, the most glamorous, and honestly the most staggering crossover event in the history of professional sports. We are talking about the Philippines' brightest tennis star, the 20-year-old phenomenon who has been tearing up the WTA Tour with the ferocity and poise of a champion in the making. We are talking about Alexandra Eala. But here is the twist, Court Visionaries. Today, we are not here to talk about her forehand. We are not breaking down her serve mechanics or her first-round match stats. No, no, no. Today, we are talking about the silver screen. We are talking about Hollywood. We are talking about Marvel-level, A-list, blockbuster movie stardom. And we are talking about Chris Hemsworth. Yes. You heard me correctly. Thor himself. The God of Thunder. The man who has wielded Mjolnir for over a decade and made the hearts of millions race around the globe. He has entered the chat, and he brought Alex Eala with him. Is the tennis princess trading her racket for a movie script? Is she the next action hero? Is she about to become the most talked about athlete turned actress since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar showed up in Airplane? We have the exclusive details from her bombshell Harper's Bazaar interview, we have the quote from Hemsworth himself that has everybody losing their minds, and we have the full, unfiltered reaction from the internet. Do not move a single muscle. You need to hear every single word of this. The Harper's Bazaar bombshell. Let us get right into the meat of this madness, because the moment we start pulling this thread, you are going to understand why the entire tennis world and half of Hollywood is currently losing their collective mind. The latest issue of Harper's Bazaar has just dropped, and on the cover, looking absolutely regal, composed, and magazine-ready in a way that frankly should be illegal for someone who spends 40 hours a week on a tennis court, is none other than Alexandra Eala. Now, look. We know Alex can model. We have seen her grace the cover of Vogue Philippines. We have seen her stunning Tatler spread. We know she has that magnetic, camera-ready charisma that most athletes spend an entire lifetime trying to manufacture and fail spectacularly at. But Alex, she was born with it. It radiates off her naturally. She walks into a room and the room adjusts to her, not the other way around. So a Harper's Bazaar cover? Impressive, absolutely. Surprising? Not entirely. We have come to expect that from her. What we did not expect, what nobody expected, was what she said inside those pages. Because usually when athletes do these high-fashion, lifestyle magazine interviews, you know the drill. It is the standard PR script. I'm working hard. I want to win a Grand Slam. The tour is incredibly competitive and I am just taking it one match at a time. polished, safe, forgettable. Blah, blah, blah. Not this time. Not even remotely close. In a move that has absolutely no parallel in recent sports history, Eala detonated a nuclear bomb right in the middle of a fashion magazine feature. Buried halfway through the interview, casually sandwiched, mind you, between questions about her training diet, her favorite cheat meals, and her skincare routine, she reveals, calm as you like, that she has officially signed on to star in a major Hollywood motion picture. And she is not doing a cameo. She is not playing tennis player number 3 in the background of some Challenger sequel. She is not doing a 30-second TV spot for a sports drink brand. She is starring. Lead role energy. Sharing the actual screen with one of the most bankable, recognizable, and beloved actors on the planet. She told the interviewer, word for word, "It's a groundbreaking new film, something that's going to challenge me in ways the court never has." And sharing the screen with Chris Hemsworth? It's surreal. Stop the press. Stop everything. Chris Hemsworth. The man who has played Thor across more than 10 Marvel films. The star of Extraction, one of Netflix's most watched action movies of all time. One of the highest paid, most sought-after actors working today. Eala is not dipping a toe into the entertainment world, she is cannonballing directly into the deep end of the A-list swimming pool, and she is doing it with a smile on her face. According to the Harper's Bazaar feature, the project is being kept under extraordinarily tight wraps. Code names. Non-disclosure agreements that would make a CIA operative nervous. The kind of secrecy that surrounds projects with budgets in the hundreds of millions. But what has already leaked into the conversation, through whisper networks, industry insiders, and the relentless digging of entertainment journalists, is that this is not a romantic comedy. This is not a feel-good sports drama. The word being used, repeatedly, by people in the know is high-octane. This is being described as a pulse-pounding, high-stakes, physical, and cerebral thriller. Could we be seeing Eala in a full action role? Is the woman who has been battering tennis balls at 120 miles per hour about to be battering something else entirely? The internet is already spinning theories, and some of them are absolutely glorious. But let us hold on those for a moment, because first we need to talk about the other half of this story. The Hemsworth endorsement that broke the internet. Now, if you are skeptical, and look, I completely understand if you are, because I was too when this first landed in my inbox, you might be thinking, okay, fine, maybe Alex is just hyping up a small role. Maybe this is a glorified cameo. Maybe the PR team got a little excited with the language. Athletes get attached to projects all the time and they never come to fruition. Maybe this whole thing evaporates by next week. And then Chris Hemsworth opened his mouth. And everything changed. Because Hemsworth did not just confirm the project. He did not simply acknowledge that yes, he is working with this young tennis star. He went on record. He provided a quote for the Harper's Bazaar piece. And what he said has been screenshot, shared, retweeted, posted, reposted, and dissected into every conceivable corner of the internet in the hours since this issue dropped. He said, and I want you to really hear this, Alex is the perfect choice. She is brilliant on the court and magnetic on screen. I've never seen someone transition from athlete to artist this naturally. Let us sit with that for a second. Let us really absorb what was just said. Magnetic on screen. The perfect choice. Transition from athlete to artist this naturally. This is Chris Hemsworth. This is a man who has shared sets with Scarlett Johansson, Natalie Portman, Charlize Theron, Idris Elba, Mark Ruffalo. He knows what genuine screen presence looks like because he has spent 15 years working alongside some of the most talented performers in the world. For him to single out a 20-year-old tennis player from the Philippines who has 0 acting credits to her name and describe her in those terms? That is not a courtesy quote. That is not a publicist-approved, carefully crafted nothing statement designed to generate buzz. That is a genuine, emphatic endorsement from someone who has seen what she can do on camera. What it tells us, And this is the part that has Hollywood insiders genuinely intrigued, is that Eala almost certainly auditioned. She did not get this role because of her Instagram following, though with millions of passionate Filipino fans, that does not exactly hurt her commercial appeal. She did not get this because she is a recognizable name in Southeast Asia, though again, that is not irrelevant. She got this because she walked into a casting room, she read for the part, and she blew them away. She made Chris Hemsworth, one of the most experienced and discerning actors of his generation, sit up and take notice. Now, here's where the speculation really starts to get fun. Industry sources, people who work adjacent to productions of this scale, have been whispering that this film might be a sports action hybrid. Something that leverages Alex's extraordinary athleticism in a way that goes beyond standard choreography. Think about it from a director's perspective. You have someone who moves with the explosive precision of a professional athlete. Someone with the footwork, the reflexes, the physical conditioning of a top 20 WTA player. Someone who can hit a small yellow ball at blistering speed from both sides with pinpoint accuracy under enormous psychological pressure in front of thousands of people. You do not cast someone like that for a period drama. You cast someone like that because you want them to move on screen in a way that takes your breath away. The pairing itself is a marketer's dream. Hemsworth's rugged, sun-drenched Australian grit alongside Eala's focused, composed, quietly intense Filipino poise. It is contrast. It is chemistry. It is the kind of casting decision that, on paper, makes studio executives rub their hands together with excitement. The tennis context, is she gambling with greatness? But here, and this is where we need to put on our Court Vision analytical hats, because this is not just a celebrity gossip story, here's where things get genuinely complicated. Because while the entertainment world is popping champagne and the fashion industry is already planning the premiere outfits, the tennis world is quietly having a crisis. Let us look at the timeline with clear eyes. Right now, in February 2026, Eala is playing some of the best tennis of her professional life. She is in Dubai at a WTA 1000 event, one of the most prestigious stops on the entire calendar outside of the Grand Slams. And she just pulled off what might be the single biggest result of her career so far, defeating world number 8 Jasmine Paolini in a 3-set thriller. Paolini, the woman who was a French Open finalist and Wimbledon finalist in the same year. Paolini, who was one of the most consistent and dangerous players on the entire tour. Alex took her down. 3 sets. Fighting spirit. Clutch tennis when it mattered most. She is currently projected to hit a career-high ranking of number 38 in the world. She is on the cusp, genuinely, tantalizingly on the cusp, of breaking through from exciting prospect who beats top players occasionally to legitimate, consistent, feared WTA contender. She is at exactly the inflection point in a tennis career where the next 12 months can define the next decade. Every coach, every sports psychologist, every veteran tour player will tell you the same thing: momentum in tennis is everything. When you are on the rise, you protect that momentum with your life. You do not introduce variables. And this is the moment she signs on for a Hollywood blockbuster. You have to ask the uncomfortable question: is this a distraction? We have seen this pattern before. We have seen enormously talented athletes get seduced by the gravitational pull of celebrity, of magazine covers and red carpets and press junkets in exotic cities, and then watched in dismay as their athletic performances began to quietly, then not so quietly, deteriorate. We saw it happen across different sports. We have seen players who had the talent to be all-time greats settle for being famous instead. Tennis, in particular, is brutally unforgiving of divided attention. It demands everything from you, every single day. The physical preparation, the mental conditioning, the tactical study, the match preparation, it is not a part-time commitment. If Eala takes 3 months away from the tour to film a major Hollywood production, in Australia, in Atlanta, wherever this thing is being shot, she will fall out of match rhythm. The strokes do not disappear, but the sharpness, the competitive edge, the automatic, unconscious decision-making that comes from playing week after week after week, that fades. She will come back and face the grinding, exhausting process of fighting her way back up a ranking list that does not wait for anyone. And yet, let us play devil's advocate, because the counterargument is genuinely compelling. Consider the modern athlete. Not the athlete of 30 years ago who was told to shut up, train harder, and stay in their lane. The modern superstar is a multi-hyphenate. A brand. An entity that operates across multiple platforms and industries simultaneously. Look at Naomi Osaka, who built a production company, appeared at fashion weeks, and still reached the highest levels of the sport. Look at LeBron James, who became a legitimate Hollywood producer while winning NBA championships. Look at Lewis Hamilton, who was literally about to direct a movie while racing Formula One cars. The most successful athletes of this era understand that their athletic career is the foundation, not the totality, of their legacy. And perhaps, having an outlet this significant, this exciting, this different from the relentless grind of the WTA Tour actually takes some of the pressure off. When tennis is the only thing in your life, every loss is catastrophic. Every bad match feels like an existential crisis. But if you have a Chris Hemsworth film premiere to look forward to, maybe you swing a little more freely on breakpoint. Maybe the fear of failure that cripples so many talented players loses some of its power. Connecting the dots, how did this even happen? Here is the question that nobody else seems to be asking, and it is honestly the most fascinating part of this entire story to me. How did this happen? How does a 20-year-old tennis player from the Philippines end up on the radar of a casting director working on a Chris Hemsworth project? What is the chain of events, the series of connections and coincidences and deliberate maneuvers that leads to this extraordinary outcome? Let us start connecting some dots, because I think the answer is more interesting than people realize. Point 1. Where does Chris Hemsworth live? Byron Bay, New South Wales, Australia. He is not an absentee Australian celebrity who visits once a year for Christmas. He is genuinely rooted there, deeply embedded in Australian culture and sports culture. He is a known sports fan. He has been photographed at cricket matches, at rugby games. And where does the tennis season begin every single year, drawing the attention of every sports fan on the continent? The Australian Open, in Melbourne. Now, we know that Eala has a massive, passionate, vocal fan base in Australia. The Filipino community in Melbourne is enormous, and they come out for her matches in extraordinary numbers. Is it possible, and I want you to follow this line of thinking, that Hemsworth, a man who pays attention to sport, who attends major events, who moves in circles where these things get discussed, simply saw her play? Saw that fire in her eyes during a gritty three-setter? Saw the way she carries herself under pressure, the way she competes, the physical and mental fortitude she displays, and thought, there is something there. There is a quality there that the camera would love. Point 2. Alex is a Nike athlete. Global. High profile. Nike's sports and entertainment pipeline is one of the most sophisticated in the world. The brand has brokered relationships between athletes and Hollywood before. There are whispers, unconfirmed, but persistent, that this project has a significant sports branding component. Could Nike have facilitated the introduction? It would not be the first time a sponsorship relationship opened a door that led to something much bigger. Point 3. The fashion world. Alex has been cultivating her presence in fashion and media for years with remarkable intentionality. That Vogue Philippines cover with the Sampaguita hair tie was not just a pretty photo, it was a statement of identity, of cultural pride, of brand positioning. Emma Raducanu became a Dior ambassador. Jannik Sinner partners with Gucci. Tennis players, particularly those with Alex's crossover appeal, are operating at the intersection of sport and culture in a way that brings them into contact with entertainment industry figures constantly. Film premieres, brand events, charity galas, these worlds collide, and when they do, relationships form. And then there is the theory that excites me most, the one that I cannot get out of my head. What if the role requires an actual athlete? Not someone who can be trained to move like an athlete with months of preparation, but someone who already moves with the automatic, unconscious grace of someone who has devoted their entire life to physical excellence. Hemsworth himself has spoken about the respect he has for professional athletes, about the physical demands of the action roles he takes on. If this project requires someone who can move on screen in a way that is genuinely breathtaking, who can perform physical sequences that no amount of stunt training can entirely replicate, then a top WTA player is not a gimmick casting choice, she is the most logical choice in the world. The internet melts down, Eala Nation in full frenzy. Let us check the pulse of the internet right now, because Court Visionaries, I have been watching this unfold in real time and I can tell you, it is magnificent chaos out there. On Twitter and X, the hashtag Alex Hemsworth is trending in the Philippines, trending in Australia, and climbing the charts globally. The Filipino sports community, which has always been one of the most passionate and vocal fan bases in tennis, is in a state of collective euphoria that borders on delirium. The memes are already incredible and arriving faster than you can refresh your timeline. People are photoshopping Thor's hammer into Alex's hand, replacing her racket. Someone made a poster of her in a superhero cape with the caption, "She already serves at the speed of lightning." The creativity is immense and it is not slowing down. One viral tweet that has been shared tens of thousands of times reads, "Alex Eala really said I can beat top 10 players and save the world with Thor in the same week." Queen behavior. And honestly, is that not the most accurate summary of the situation? There is a reason it went viral. It perfectly captures the sheer audacity and scale of what she appears to be pulling off. But there is also genuine confusion rippling through certain corners of the tennis community. A significant number of people encountered this story and their immediate reaction was that it had to be a joke. April Fools came early was one of the most common responses across multiple platforms. It just seems so spectacularly out of left field that the initial instinct is to dismiss it as satire or creative fiction. But here is the thing, Harper's Bazaar does not do satirical prank journalism. This is one of the most prestigious fashion and culture publications in the world. They have been covering global icons for over 150 years. When something appears in their pages attributed to real people with real quotes, it is real. And then there is the entirely separate universe of the Hemsworth fan base colliding with the Alex Eala fan base in real time, and it is quite something to witness. Millions of MCU fans who have never watched a single set of professional tennis in their entire lives are suddenly Googling who is Alex Eala tennis ranking, Alex Eala career stats. WTA Tour YouTube channels that rarely crack 100,000 views are suddenly being shared in Marvel fan group chats. Tennis highlight reels of her best matches are circulating in spaces where people usually discuss superhero lore and box office projections. This is, and I want you to understand the significance of this moment, this is exactly what the WTA Tour has been trying to manufacture artificially through marketing campaigns for years. And Alex Eala just created it organically, effortlessly, by simply announcing she is starring in a movie. She has introduced herself in the sport of tennis to an entirely new demographic with a single interview. The crossover potential here is extraordinary. If even a fraction of the Marvel fanbase becomes curious about her tennis matches, those broadcast numbers change. Those streaming numbers change. The tour's global visibility changes. From a pure business perspective, completely separate from what it means for her athletic career, this is a genuinely transformative moment for women's tennis. Dubai implications, the highest stakes press conference in tennis history. Now, I promised you updates that stay within this storyline, and we need to talk about the immediate, tangible, on-court implications of this news, because they are significant and they are happening right now. Alex Eala is still active in the Dubai draw. She just defeated Jasmine Paolini in what may be the biggest victory of her career to date. Her next match is on the horizon. And the timing of this Harper's Bazaar story dropping while she is in the middle of competing at a WTA 1000 event creates a situation that is, to put it mildly, unprecedented. Can you imagine the press conference? Think about it. In normal circumstances, tennis post-match press conferences are professional, occasionally interesting, but mostly focused on tactical analysis. Questions about serve percentages. Questions about first set momentum. Questions about head-to-head records. In the press conference following her next Dubai match, every single journalist in that room is going to have one thing on their mind, and it has nothing to do with tennis. Alex, what is Chris Hemsworth like in person? Alex, are you moving to Hollywood full-time? Alex, can you describe the film without violating your NDA? Alex, does Thor play tennis? That last one is obviously slightly absurd, but do you know what? Someone is going to ask it, and it is going to be clipped and shared everywhere. Welcome to the modern media landscape. This also puts a different kind of target on her back in competition. There is a psychological dynamic on the WTA Tour that anyone who has followed professional tennis understands viscerally. Veteran tour players do not enjoy it when a younger colleague appears to have one foot out the door. There is a code, unspoken but universally understood, about respect for the sport, about commitment to the grind. When it becomes public knowledge that a player has signed on for a Hollywood film, that she has, in some sense, already secured a life beyond the court, opponents will feel a certain motivation to demonstrate that tennis does not reward divided loyalties. They will want to prove that Hollywood Alex can be beaten. They will play with extra edge. They will compete with the specific intensity of people who want to make a point. Hollywood is not a different kind of pressure. It is a bigger stage with different lighting. And if she can channel the same ferocious intensity she brought to that match against Jasmine Paolini, the same competitive fire, the same refusal to be rattled by the moment, into her work with Chris Hemsworth, she is not going to fade into the background of that film. She is going to steal scenes from one of the most charismatic actors in the world. Chris Hemsworth already knows this. That is why his quote was not cautious or diplomatic. It was emphatic, enthusiastic, the perfect choice, magnetic on screen. He has seen what she can do, and he is excited about it. When someone who has worked at that level for that long gets excited about a newcomer, it means something real. Alex Eala is 20 years old. She has a WTA ranking that is climbing toward the top 30. She has a Harper's Bazaar cover. She has a Chris Hemsworth movie. She has the love and support of 80 million Filipinos who watch every match as if their hearts depend on the outcome. And she has the rare, extraordinary quality of someone who makes you feel, whenever you watch her compete or speak or simply exist in a room, that she is exactly where she is supposed to be. Whatever comes next, whether it is a Dubai title, a deep run at Roland Garros, a box office triumph alongside Thor, or some combination of all three, we are watching the beginning of something that is going to be talked about for a very long time. The tennis court was always just the first act. And that is where we want to hear from you. Court Visionaries, we have laid out everything we know, everything we theorize, and everything we are watching with barely contained excitement from right here at Court Vision Plus. But this story is far from over. This is chapter 1 of what is clearly going to be a very long, very dramatic, very entertaining book. And we want to know exactly where you stand. Is Alex Eala the next great action star? Will you be buying a ticket to watch her and Hemsworth on the big screen, and how fast will you be running to that cinema? Or do you think she needs to put the movie deal on hold, park herself on the practice court, and dedicate the next 2 years exclusively to chasing that Grand Slam title that the Philippines has been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments section right now. We want this to be a real debate. We want to read every single comment. If you are on Team Hollywood, if you think this is the greatest power move in sports history and you cannot wait to see Alex Eala collect a Golden Globe, drop a popcorn emoji. And if you are on Team Tennis, if you think she needs to stay laser focused on the court and leave the acting to someone else until she has that slam trophy, drop a tennis racket emoji. Let us see which side wins. Let us settle this debate in the comments. And while you are down there, smash that like button. Hit it with the force of an Alex Eala overhead on match point. Subscribe to Court Vision Plus if you have not already, because we are going to be all over this story as it develops. We will be here the second a trailer drops, the second a set photo leaks, the second she gives another interview, the second her Dubai draw results come in. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update, because trust me, this story is going to keep giving. We are Court Vision Plus. We are where the baseline meets the red carpet. and we will see you in the next one. Until then, keep your eyes on the ball and on the box office. Peace.
Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga laban ko sa Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open mula ng January 3. Super happy with the game, how I played. I think she was a tough opponent and yeah, tough conditions out there, very hot, but I'm just very happy with the win and